Many of you have heard me say that Americans should vote their values. Folks, it's more than just a slogan. It's actually my political party. I, as a constitutional conservative, have a set of values on which I measure all candidates. There's a picture I keep right here in my studio from the great artist John McNaughton. It's a picture of some of the past Republican presidents playing cards. Now, I keep that as a reminder to myself of how naive and complicit I was in pushing the fallacy of the two-party system. I used to think Republicans good, Democrats bad. But after witnessing the GOP sacrifice the conservative movement, the America First movement, the constitutional conservative movement, among others, on the altar of appeasing and pleasing left-wing extremists in the Democrat Party, I grew out of my political infancy. The speaker fight exposes the selfish government two-party system. That's my focus in today's preamble. Former Speaker designee Jim Jordan summed up our plight this morning.
It is a great country, the greatest country in my judgment, made up of great people. And right now, those people, I think, are starting to doubt and wonder about their government and about where our nation is headed. They see an open border. They see crime in the streets. They know what it costs to put gas in their car. They know what it costs to put food on the table. They see a war in Israel, our strongest ally, Israel, and what's happening there, and the help that Israel needs. And they see a government that's been weaponized against we, the people.
Democrats did all that, folks, supported and funded by Republicans. The votes, the empirical votes, prove what I just said. Yesterday, I got an email that you are going to see a little later on in the show in the Mail Perspective. The viewer told me he would no longer watch the Chris Salcedo show because I wouldn't stop holding the GOP accountable in the face of its myriad failures and their failure to stop the most anti-American Democrat Party our nation has ever been burdened with. Now he, like me nearly a decade ago, thinks the GOP are the good guys and the Democrats are the bad guys. Well, he's not wrong about the Democrats, as there are few left in that party who are dedicated to the promise of America's freedom, prosperity, and security. And I have no doubt the emailer has a good set of values and that he identifies as, quote, Republican. Sadly, his party doesn't live up to his or my standards. The difference between us, he and me, is he's emotionally invested in the GOP team, and he's never going to waver. Now, we see this blind loyalty to a team on the Democrats' side quite often, and where it's fashionable to always support your favorite baseball team or your football team, even when they suck. It's stupid and deadly to continually back a party that always lets you down. After myriad betrayals in service to left-wing extremists, all affection for the GOP is gone for me. So all I'm left with, folks, is judging a party, any party, and its government by its effectiveness by empirical data. See, I demand results, not only because I believe our people deserve those results, but I can see the Democrats delivering for their anti-American base. So I know it's possible for a party to keep faith with their voters. That brings us to the speaker fight and the other emails that are asking, hey, why is the GOP finding it so hard to unify around at least one principle? Now, we've identified several camps in the GOP who are opposing bringing effective constitutional conservatism back to the speaker's chair. Here's Don Bacon giving voice to one segment.
You have some group that's worked with them going back 10 years, and they've worked with them on appropriations. More senior folks where he's created a lot of chaos.
Oh, see, appropriations, folks, means money. Jim Jordan might have dried up all the tax money your government is currently soaking out of you. Now, without access to that money, politicians can't pay off cronies, can't pay off special interests, they can't get their kickbacks and feather their own nests, they can't enrich their family and friends without your money. Then there are the Republicans, who have more in common with the socialists in the Democrat Party, from childish and dangerous overspending to social issues to open borders and the destruction of our military. These Republicans are openly now talking about doing a deal with Democrats to put the Democrats back in power. Of course, This undermines their absurd little contention that the reason why they're so mad at 7 conservatives and Nancy Mace is because they teamed up with every Democrat to oust Congressman McCarthy. It's not the way it went down, and these disingenuous tools, they know it. It's kind of hard to make the absurd little chestnut stick when you're the part of the Republican Party that's just jonesing to do a deal with the devil, the Democrats. And that leads us to the romper room section of the GOP saboteurs. In exclusive reporting, the Daily Caller is revealing that a number of House Republicans believe many of their colleagues who have voted against constitutional conservative Jim Jordan have done so because they want to spite Florida Republican Matt Gaetz. That's right. Some of these so-called Republicans are willing to let the socialists run wild while the country and the world burns, courtesy of Democrat arsonists, just because of their loathing and disgust of a conservative who acts and fulfills his obligations and promises he made to his voters. I mentioned the fact that Democrats deliver for their voters, and they do. Here is leftist Senator Chris Van Hollen killing a resolution in the United States Senate that would have condemned the calls coming from college campuses for violence against Jews. Watch.
I had to run down
Missouri
before I got another meeting, but I object.
It's hard to believe what we've just heard on this floor. Defense of the most vile anti-Semitic rhetoric under the excuse that to call out specifically the specific statements and denounce them one at a time and say this is wrong, that is somehow a smear.
See? Not that complicated, is it? Van Hollen knows that a healthy segment of the Democrat caucus and voters hate Jews. So he and other Democrat politicians do whatever it takes to deliver. And the entirety of the party rallies around them to this day. The Democrat Party has not condemned by name any of the anti-Semites in their party, and they won't, because they're unified in purpose. Can anyone credibly say the same thing about the Republicans? In fact, can any of you name one thing that every Republican agrees on and will move heaven and earth, just like you saw Senator Van Hollen do right there, to make sure it's law and is implemented for the benefit of our people? I can't. And that's the problem. Now, I can applaud Ted Cruz, Josh Hawley, Jim Jordan, James Comer, Tim Burchett, several other conservatives, but I know there's a Mitch McConnell, Mitt Romney, John Cornyn, Don Bacon, Kay Granger, and Tony Gonzalez waiting in the wings to side with left-wingers and destroy the country and GOP unity. I'm a conservative at present. I have no party to carry my values to Washington. The anti-white, Jew-hating, anti-God, anti-rule of law, anti-freedom folks in America are well represented by the Socialists and the Democrat Party. I, your liberty-loving Latino, eagerly await a party that not only talks the talk of a conservative, constitutional, limited government party, but one that is unified to make sure that that American promise is restored to our people.